All right, so this week is fly off. So as ever, we talk about our criteria first and the weightings you've given it to them. And I'm very interested like I said, you were a Springbok Flyhalf yourself, and obviously you're going to look at this position slightly with a better, more informed eye than your opinion that you would any other position. So let's hear what you're thinking.
It was good to go and do a bit of a deep dive into the tens and to see what they're about. And the longer I had a look at them, Envia, the more I realized how much quality we've got in that jersey. From all the way from Jaden Hendricks, Lubbock, Sasha, Pollard, and there's a couple of mentions like Siamasuka has had good seasons. He deserves a special mention. We're not going to rate him tonight, but I think you know, the Sharks' last win, he threw that bridge ball over to Mapimpi to secure the win, and he's uh he's also a special talent. I coached him as well with the Leopards for a couple of weeks before he moved on to, I think he went to the Cheetahs, I'm not sure, or to the Pumas for a trial, but he's definitely someone to look forward to. He's a bit of a different type of fly off. I think individual threat wise, he's not as a big of an attacking threat as the rest of them. I think he's maybe not as quick. He used to be quite pacey. He's got great feet, probably step you in a phone box as well. But I think his pace has gone down a bit. And also because you're defending at the back, you're going to need that pace to cover backfield effectively. But the categories we're going to look at is firstly, your 10 needs to be a game driver. You need to be making decisions on the run, pass, kick, run. Where do we want to play? So your tactical kicking's got to be good. That's coupled with decision making, and then that's your territory management. And are we just kicking ball away? Or are we kicking contestables? Then on the organizational side, your communication needs to be spot on, specific, and very assertive. You've got to take control, and the forwards need to know that. It's kind of like they can pick up if you're not sure about the call. You're not calling early, which means that they get into position late, which means it's easier to defend. And with the good tens, they're very proactive with their communication because they've scanned, they've looked up early, they've seen the things that they want to see. And the communication from the outside helps. I think if there's one thing that I would do differently if I had to go back, is I'd be a lot harder on the outside communication coming in to help you with your decision making. Instead of taking it all upon yourself, you miss so much that, and the guys get better outside with their visual, with their scanning and their communication. So I would be a lot harder on the boys from the outside. And then one thing that's really important when it comes to driving a game is how you control your speed of play. Not trying to make unnecessary slow ball into quick ball by just running onto it when there's a wall in front of you. And also the flip side of that coin is not trying to go and slow down your quick ball, to keep playing on top of them, keep it flat, ensure that they keep chasing. And that's part of game driving, because if you get that wrong, and there's a clip of Sasha doing it unbelievably well against Australia. If you get that wrong, you give the defense a second chance to to kind of snuff out that attacking advantage that you had.
Okay, so that's the game driver. I like that. That's the analogy of the guy driving the bus. Everybody else goes with the bus driver takes us. So I like that analogy, and I think it's quite apt. What's next?
Then on attack, I think it probably comes down to being a bit of a chess master come hitman in terms of the way we want to play. Not that we want our tens to be making contact, but they should be able to stand their man, not lose ball in contact, whilst driving this game in the type of attack that we want to see in the Springbok jersey. So on the attack, individual attacking threat. If you are an individual attacking threat, you'll draw people onto you, which means that something has to open up. And I think that's where Sasha's been quite difficult to defend, because he is a bigger body. He does have speed. He's got a keen eye for that mismatch. And then when that closes up, he just puts Peter Steph through the hole, or he chucks the bridge ball over to Kurtley Orense. So that's important. Got to be a good playmaker, which also comes down to your decision making, your scanning, having a look at the visuals and listen to the communication. And then a couple of extra skills, that ability to, and Villy's probably the best in the world at this, is kicking that little dink over the top at full pace without looking at the ball. You got Libo kicking cross kicks while looking downfield, wiper or long kicks off the outside of the boot by Sasha, kicking short touches, ensuring that we force lineouts. So those little extra skills, offloads, you'll see Andre going up in the air, and then instead of taking the ball to ground, he always is looking for the offload. So those extra little skills, that'll make up our attacking category.
All right. Well, clearly, the other side of attack is always defense. So I suppose that's the third one.
With the Springboks, a lot of teams are defending their tens at the back, having their wings in line, where with the Springboks, they still keep their 10 in the front line, which means they trust all of their tens to make those tackles. And we'll go through the clips and why it's so important for our tens to be physical. They need to be able to front up and be physical in the tackles. And I don't think, it'll be unreasonable for us to expect Libbok to have the same impact on defense and the hit as a Andre Pollard. He's 20 kilograms lighter than Andre. Those extra Ks make a big difference in the contact situation. So that physicality in the front line is going to be important. Then your backfield cover and the way you close the defense on the edges with your wings that are shooting up and creating space on the outside, that becomes important. And then also the high ball efficiency, because they get themselves back there. They need to be able to diffuse high ball situations and be secure at the back, and that'll make the defense category.
Right, and the last one, which I think is particularly apt for a fly-off, and that's big match temperament, or BMT. We've been talking about this a lot, ever since the World Cup. Everybody knows what I'm referring to. How did you rate that?
I think if you think about big match temperament, you normally think about the winning kick or the winning drop. But there are so many different situations on the field where you can actually show big match temperament. You get a last 2 minutes of the game, you get a line out on their 5. Their contesting's great. They leave the back ball. Line out caller says, let's go middle, and the hooker says, give me the back ball, I'll find it. Finds the back ball. Drive from the back ball is a lot harder to defend them from the middle or front, and they score the winning try. That's part of big match temperament. At 10, again, 2 minutes to go, gets a penalty on the 10 meters in the opponent's half, and he kicks it out on the 5. He's gone for that 5-meter kick. That's big match temperament. Just before halftime, trying to drop goal to get yourselves into the lead. That's big match temperament. So there's a lot of ways to look at big match temperament. On the fly-off, it normally comes down to your goal kicking. You're the one that's in the seat, in the hot seat when it comes down to that, and how you go. And I think, unfortunately, Marnie's track record the last couple of years, well, probably not years, the last couple of seasons, has let him down. He has won matches for the Stormers with final kicks, but just lately that's cost him a bit. And he will, I'm pretty sure he'll get back to it. But at the moment, his big match temperament, his confidence is down, and you'll see on the marks that's cost him a bit.
All right, and the one noticeable absenteeism or absentee here is Rugby IQ. We made a big thing of it last week. We don't see it here. Where does that come in?
It comes into your game driver stats. And I think, like I spoke to you off air, you kind of want to take it for granted that your 10 has got good rugby IQ. Otherwise, you'd be able to play anybody at 10, and you'd still be effective. But rugby IQ, it's your decision making, it's your tactical awareness, it's how you implement the strategy, it's your territory management, it's your communication. All of that becomes part of your rugby IQ. And it's part of your preparation. It's like the quarterback in NFL. They know all the plays. Some of the guys only know certain plays. These guys know those plays, but the quarterback knows all the plays, and that's what your 10 is.